Hey, friends, and welcome back to the Impact 1 Million podcast show. I'm your host, Shar Moore, and today's guest is going to bring us a little bit closer, even again, to impacting 1 million lives. Her name is Jacquellene Lukich. She is a renowned luminary in the realm of personal growth and transformation, proving herself an unparalleled pillar of wisdom and guidance for the privileged few who inhabit the upper echelons of society. Her extensive portfolio includes countless stories of empowering the creme de la creme celebrities, CEOs, and high achieving individuals, showcasing her extraordinary talent in orchestrating their unique journey toward unrivaled success. Jacquellene, welcome to our show today.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to be here.
Oh, you have such an exceptional background and business. I'd love you to dive in and tell our friends today a little bit more about you and your world.
Well, it started way back when I was young. It was, how things push you into the direction you need to be in. And shortly, into my teens and early 20s, I realized I think I have something and being able to share it with the world. So that evolved, of course, getting married, having children, and all that great stuff evolved into something that organically just said, this is your calling. And it just formed into that. And as you doubt sometimes in life, is it my calling? Is it, exactly what's happening? Then the universe throws you a little loop, right? And we'll go into, I had a little happening where I took a little nap for about 21 days. And that actually brought me directly in alignment with what I needed to do moving forward. So I just love to see people succeed. I bring value to a lot of businesses, a lot of just in general, life, what happens in life, families, and it all just happens organically. People reach out to me, whether it's through a business, whether it's at a business, and then someone hears about it and then they need help in the family. So it's just a wonderful thing to be able to do. And I don't know, I just enjoy every bit of it. And now now that I'm older, I'm kind of narrowing it down to make it more specific. And we're doing retreats and we do a lot of events via Zoom or in person. And of course, we continue doing one-on-one sessions as well. And I do have a team of experts who I can't get to everybody, right? I can't get to all of the clients, which I would love to. We do offer some group coaching, which is amazing. And at the same time, I have a team, right? And they're all like me in their own unique way. And at the same time, we help out others reach their goals.
Yeah, I love that, Jacquellene. Thanks for sharing that. And I'd love to dive back into, the moment, like kind of when you started this work and you realized that you had a special gift and that you were here for more. And, and also from our previous chats, I know there was a lot happening in your life. So take us back to, because I think one of the things that's really important to impact 1 million people, it's a big goal. It's very hairy and audacious. And I think to do that, we really do need to show diversity on this show and really talk about the things that happen behind the scenes, because often people will look at social media, Facebook, whatever you want to call it, and they'll judge someone's life based on, right, a happy snappy that's got a filter on it. And then they go, oh, well, there's no way I can succeed because I have this happening in my personal life and no one seems to be talking about it. So must be the only one in the world going through this. So take us through some of those moments of your life, please.
Some of my down moments, you mean?
Yeah, the moments that made you who you are.
Well, let's see. Coming from a family that is from Europe, so my kids are actually first generation American, parents that came to Canada, then moved to the United States. So coming from a mindset of lack and coming from a mindset of survival. Right? My parents were always in survival mode. So the opportunities that we're giving our children, with the Ivy League colleges and all that, we didn't have that opportunity because my parents didn't know about it. So coming from that perspective and then living in a foreign country, learning languages all at the same time. I had to learn French, English, Serbian, Macedonian all at the same time. So you leave for school and you're in Canada or in America, and you come home and you're in a foreign language. You were literally walking through the door and you're in a foreign language. And it's always us and them, but yet we're living in their world. So that was the start. All right. And then as you are moving now, you go from Canada and then you move to the United States. And in our culture, if you're 19 or 20 and you're not already engaged, you're old. It's like, when are you going to get married? So that whole, story keeps filing. And when you go back to visit Europe, the grandparents and all the other relatives are like, you're not engaged yet? So it's one of those crazy moments like, no, we don't get engaged that early. So lo and behold, I get engaged at the age of 19. I just graduated college and married at 21. And my birthday was, the following month. We turned 22. And shortly after that, starting to have kids. And I was working. But then you have kids. And then thank God the husband was able to have a good income so that I didn't have to worry about going to work. So we had the kids, and you get busy as a mom. You forget who you are many times because what are we doing? We're tending to those. We're tending to the kids. So you continue on, you're living your life, and the marriage you get into at the age of 19 is not necessarily the marriage that some can, and I give them a lot of credit. My mother did, and she did an amazing job, but there was a lot of ups and downs and a lot of tolerance and so on. The marriage didn't turn out as well as they, let's say, painted
as the
you.
brochure.
Exactly. Okay. So what happens is at that point, you're like, oh my God, I'm in this. And it's, through good and bad, health, sickness and health, rich and poor, so on and so forth. I married him when he was very poor, and we amassed to quite a bit of wealth, and I was done. So being the only one in the family getting a divorce was not really fun. So behind the scenes, you're going through a divorce, but yet you have to hold your head up high and you have to be strong for your children. And of course, a European family, it's later on in life, but there's still that little stigma of shame, right? So you're walking around, and I'm the only one in the whole circle that's divorced and raising children and all that great stuff. And on the final day of the divorce, which was joyous for me, and everyone got it. They were like, okay, you're doing the right thing, because he was a person who's very narcissistic. And again, I send him all good stuff.
Yeah,
I wish him all the very best. I thank him for coming into my life because he actually taught me quite a bit on how to work with such individuals. So that was a plus. And my dad being very strong, being European and being tough, he also taught me how to be strong and how to work with those types of characters and people. Shortly after the divorce was finalized, I actually ended up in the hospital with a brain aneurysm. And that's where my 21-day nap came in. And somebody up there said, okay, she needs a break. So here I am in the hospital, and I'm waking up and I'm going, what now? It's like you lose the house, you lose the money, you lose everything, lose a marriage, you lose a family unit. And now my health, it's like, wait a minute, what am I going to do now? Well, you rise above it. So when that happened, you wake up in the hospital and you're like, okay, what's up? Well, from that point, it was a blessing to have had that. And at the same time, my gift came even stronger, even more powerful, because now I had a higher purpose, because I no longer am afraid of death. What's there to fear? So I recovered. Right. Seriously, I don't have no fear of that any longer. So when I recovered from all that, nothing, you can't tell that I've had anything. And I moved forward, and I realized that, now I'm going to live on purpose, with purpose, and help others, because really we can't take any of our luxury pieces, we can't take any of our wealth, we can't take any of our things with us. So therefore enjoy while they're here, because quite honestly, we can have anything we want. So manifesting what you want your life to be is the key, and no one can take that away from you. And that's really what I did. I moved forward from that point on and helped my kids get on the right path. I'm like, here I am, a therapist, a life coach, if you want to say, a business strategist, and all of these things. And I'm like, the one thing I'm not going to have is dysfunctional children, because that's notorious with people who help others. They forget their home. So that was one thing I made a commitment to myself to do, is it starts at the house. It starts at home. And I'm not going to have spoiled children who become unbearable adults, who become depressed. So it was going to be coaching them, raising them, grooming them for success in their field. So that was my biggest focus. And then continuing on with working on helping others. And there was times where I didn't make money helping others, and I didn't feel like it was something I should be given money for. It was God's work, or it was a universe is like seeking people like us who help others. And I'm like, I feel bad taking their money. They can't afford this thing. So that was a whole other piece that I needed to work on. And finally, I said, okay, well, what do I need? What do I want in life? You can have anything you want. So I started manifesting, and I truly manifested the man of my dreams. I've manifested the life that I'm living now. I've manifested the luxury items. They don't make you happy. They don't bring you joy, and they definitely don't love you. But I'll tell you one thing, being able to have those luxuries and financial freedom, what it does is gives you time. It gives you time to do the things you wish to do. So were there days where I woke up in the morning and I'm like, I can't do this any longer? Were there days where I could understand where people went to drugs, went to alcohol, went to totally. And, a pill to go to sleep, a pill to wake up, all of that, right? And I vowed to myself I would never do that. So I did this all eyes wide open. And let me tell you, I don't know how I didn't crack. Well, I did take a nap.
Yeah, 21-day nap.
Yeah, give her a break. But doing it eyes wide open. And really my purpose now is not to amass to more wealth or to amass to more luxury pieces. It is to live the best life every day, and to offer the best life everyone else can live every day, and to teach them that it starts with you. The inside job is your biggest, most, as you said earlier, audacious job you're going to do in your entire life. However, if you do that inside job, everything on the external is going to be very, very smooth sailing. There will be bumps in the road, but you'll weather through them with ease and grace. So kind of how
love that. Oh my goodness. I'm sure, friends, you're listening going, wow, wow, wow. And I've got this annoying fly, if you're watching the video. It's this tiny little thing that keeps hovering around my mouth. Seriously, it's helping me stay focused, that's for sure. So if you're looking at me waving madly on the video, that's what I'm doing. I'm like, anywho, one thing I loved, there's so many things that you shared that I love, Jacquellene, but one of them was that you no longer fear death. And I really want to dive into that and unpack it, because I'm sure there's going to be someone listening to this who is really not living because they're scared of, and insert anything here, scared of being caught out, imposter syndrome, right? Maybe someone will know I paid my phone bill late and, I'm not as abundant. Or maybe someone will know something I did in my childhood and then they'll call me out on it, or maybe whatever. And also they might be scared of it failing, their business, their product, their service, not, getting one unhappy client. Or maybe they are scared of dying, right? They might be thinking that, this could all come to an end. And I love that you said that. And there's something real power behind that, because you faced it, right? You had your 21-day nap, and you no longer have a fear of that, because you've been there, and it wasn't your time. And I hope it's not for a very long time, because we've got a lot of fun to have, right? But
Yeah.
it's not your time. And so now that you don't need to worry about that, you can worry about living, and not worry about living, enjoy living, right? Thrive, because you are here for more. So what advice or tips would you give to people around, and I love the saying you said, living eyes wide open. Give us some tips on what you did, mindset, things that you might tell your clients about, what little basic things. Like, sometimes people can't even get up. I've got some friends going through some things at the moment, and oh my God, this thing is going to drive me crazy. I'm getting some exercise while I'm doing this show. Some friends going through some things at the moment, and literally I'm like, just focus on the next hour. Don't think about the next year. It's too big, right? So
Right.
what are some things that
Right.
practical things that you give your clients to focus on that would help us live our life eyes wide open?
Perfect. When you live with your eyes wide open, you are truly embracing the suck. That's what I call it. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have really, really bad days. And you have to flip that switch, and you have to embrace it. So living eyes wide open is you get to see what you're going through. And then you have a choice every day to be the victim or to be your hero. No one's going to be your hero. You have to be your hero. And choosing to rise above that is amazing. You look at your circumstance and you go through it. People try to shove it under the carpet. You had said something earlier like, oh, I did something in my past, and if that comes up, how am I going to deal with it? Well, guess what? It was in your past. You did it. You may not have known you were doing something that would hurt you in the future. However, if it comes up, go through it.
Yeah.
Own it. Be humble enough to own it and not be afraid. Because here's the thing, those who judge you, they're not meant to be in your circle. Those who understand you, they're the ones who are going to help you rise above everything. So choosing who your circle is, and we've heard this thousands of times, show me your closest 5 friends and I'll tell you the next step in your life. Because, and I say this to people, I'm like, if you surround yourself with 5 millionaires, you'll be the 6th.
Yeah.
If you surround yourself with 5 losers, you'll be the 6th.
Yeah.
No, it's a choice.
Yeah.
So embracing the suck and going through it, learning the lesson, because really that's all we're here to do. This is a university. We're learning. Everything that comes our way, by the way, we've invited into our life. It's not happening to us. It's not woe is me, and nobody likes to go to pity parties. So everything that happens in our life is happening for us. Okay. Why did I go through a divorce? Woe is me. No, it happened for a reason, right? Embrace that reason. I had a brain aneurysm. Well, why? Right? Ask yourself. You didn't stop. And it wasn't your time. So now that you're back, embrace it. Fear of failure. Gosh, you know what? The biggest advice I could give people is fail fast. Fail fast. And you know what? Fail hard enough where you don't break anything, but you scrape your knee, you scrape your elbow. You know what? Do it, and do it quick. And the reason I say that is because the quicker you fail, don't look at failure as a setback. You need to look at failure as a stepping stone. What did Elon Musk just recently do? He shot a rocket up. What happened to it? Blew up. What did he say? Okay, well, now we know how not to do that. Let's go back to the drawing board, right? So that's what you need to do in life. And really, it's never about them. It's about you. Okay. Yeah. It's not about them. Now, bringing joy and happiness and tools and instruction and strategies and all that to humanity, great. Do it. Don't expect anything in return. Just do it, because you will be rewarded 10,000-fold. Look at what happened to me. I had a brain aneurysm. An aneurysm, nobody survives. And the small percentage that does survive, they have setbacks. They're either in a wheelchair, they're either, still trying to learn. I was given a second chance in a life again. All the stuff I paid forward that, I lent money out, never was returned, don't need it. I got my life back. I can make a difference. So that's my biggest advice. And fear is just a choice. Okay. Yeah. Here's my thing. Danger is real. Fear is a choice. Period. You can walk outside your house and you can trip over a step and break your neck.
Yeah.
That can happen, right? So danger is always around us. There could be a snake in your garden that's poisonous. I mean, there's so many things that, can happen. However, fearing that every day, that's a choice, and it's robbing you of what you can do. So when something comes your way, or someone comes your way and says you can't do that and it can't be done, say thanks for sharing, but I have on right.
Yeah.
Focus and get it done. So thanks for sharing and move on. Even your own thoughts, your biggest, I should say, your biggest naysayer and enemy is your own little voice. You can't do it. You can't this. You need to hush the voice. It's always going to be there, right? But you need to hush it. And you need to just say, thanks for sharing, and keep going forward. Yeah. And once you overcome the choice of being fearful or not, then you're going to be great. And you know what? That danger won't come your way, because the more you're fearful, the more you're inviting it, because then the universe is like, oh, okay, you're fearing this. You're not overcoming it. Let me give you some situations that will bring that to fruition. And here's an example. My aneurysm came about. Why? Very simple. I used to always think, I'm like, oh my God, what if I die? Oh my God, what if I have a brain bleed? Oh my God. I used to think that for whatever crazy reason all the time, right? And guess what? I created it. The only thing that I feel that saved me is I did the meditation Qigong, which is a moving meditation. And my words are very powerful.
Yeah.
That's why they put spells, right? Therefore, it's called spelling. I said when I was doing one of those movements, I said, universe, fix what needs fixing, right? And I would invite that light, fix what needs fixing. Thank God, because they fixed what needed to be fixed, right? And that was the aneurysm. So what you constantly think of, what you constantly speak, what you constantly are fearing will come. So don't fear, like I said, danger is real, but fear is a choice.
Yeah, I love that. Gosh, friends, I'm sure you took copious notes then, and I need to listen to this when it's out so I can write my notes down. But so many great sort of points and reminders there, Jacqueline. And, things become thoughts become things. And so if we keep going, I hope this doesn't happen, I hope that doesn't happen, you're putting energy into it, and the universe doesn't hear that, I hope it doesn't. It just brings it into your life. And so definitely focus on what you do want, not what you don't want to have happen. And a friend told me years ago, she's a kinesiologist, and she said fear is false evidence appearing real. It's something that we manifest ourselves, and we put all this energy into it, and it is a waste. And I loved before when you said about the people that don't support you, or your naysayers, they're not your community. And there's a lot of people, I'm sure, that think I'm crazy because we're traveling the world, putting together this gorgeous coffee table book, and I've got big goals for this, and I see this book being everywhere, universities, companies, big large conferences. We're launching in New York, and I feel like by gathering 100 people, it's a big goal, and I don't have all the how of how I'm going to finish putting this. I just know that it's done. I've seen it finished. I've closed my eyes. I've seen a bunch of us getting out of a limousine. I've seen the red carpet at Times Square. I've seen the book on the billboard. I've seen people flying from all over the world. I've seen myself walking into a university, seeing it there. I've seen it in, IBM and big companies, like on their boardroom table for something for people to read while they're waiting. I've seen it. So I don't really need to worry about the how. And I don't need to worry about where everyone's going to come from. That's not my business. I've placed my order with the universe like I would a good steak in a restaurant. And I'm like, I'm just going to do what I'm going to keep working. Of course, I'm not sitting here waiting for fairies to land on my lap. But I've placed my order and I've seen it happen. And I look gorgeous at the launch, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. I'm dressed to the nines, and I'm the fittest and most fabulous I've been, happy inside and out, with everyone who's flown in. And we have created the powerful movement of Impact 1 Million. And I love that you saw yourself for who you are today and the work you do with celebrities and you know the creme de la creme of the industry. I'd love you to share as we wrap up today, Jacqueline. You know, Oprah, I was listening to her years ago, and she said she had Beyonce on the show. And after they finished, Beyonce said to Oprah, "Was that okay?" I'd love to dive in these last few minutes, right? She's Beyonce, and Oprah said, "Girl, you're Beyonce. Like, of course you're okay." But everyone has, right, that limiting, that sort of limiting belief of, you know, am I okay? Am I enough? So talk to us about that as we wrap up today for our friends listening. If they're feeling that way, what would you say?
You know, you have to believe in yourself, and you kind of actually hit it just a second ago, where you see yourself. You have to envision yourself. You determine and identify the what you look like, what you're feeling. The who and the how show up magically. And I can't stress that enough. I have more clients calling me saying, "Oh my God, you were right. And so, and I met this person." And so it just happens. It just comes your way. The moment you open those gates, it just starts coming in. So the biggest thing is believe in self, believe anything is possible, believe you are limitless. There is no limits. There is no boundaries. We've all heard stories from so many famous people to the people that we can talk about and relate to. You just mentioned Beyonce. If you look at her history, where'd she come from? Look where she is today. So anything is possible. If it's in your mind, if you've thought it and you think about it, you can manifest it. And most of the time, I promise you, most of the time, your manifestation work, what actually happens is going to be beyond the actual thoughts you had. It will surpass your absolute wishes and dreams. But you must do the inside job. You must come clean to yourself. You must look at yourself in the mirror and forgive yourself, forgive others. The biggest thing you need to do in life is forgive. Once you've forgiven, and you start with the worst person at the top and maybe label another 5, go through those guys, the rest will fall away. But you forgive them, forgive self for anything that you need to forgive yourself for, and watch the world change, and be grateful. Even if you wake up in the morning and be grateful for 5 things. Mm-hmm. I'm grateful I can walk. I'm grateful I can breathe. I mean, simple. Doesn't have to be all this crazy stuff. Being grateful and forgiving, those are 2 amongst many other secrets to success that my celebrities, my high profile clients, all of them didn't know about until they came to me. I've had men who are extremely powerful, very wealthy, in a fetal position in my office, because they're like, "Oh my God, I didn't know that that's what it is." It's simple, but yet no one thinks of it. So my biggest advice is believe in yourself, forgive others, forgive self, and be grateful. Those are the most biggest secrets to success.
Oh, Jacqueline, thank you so much for sharing that. And, you know, I think one of the dangers of what you just said is that human beings love to overcomplicate things. And you've just shared some amazing, highly effective, however, very simple strategies. And sometimes as human beings, we go, "Oh, it can't be that easy." Right? It can't be that easy. Yes. So therefore I'm going to go overcomplicate and find this really overcomplicated way to go and fix that problem. It can't be as easy as that, but it is, friends. So please listen to Jacqueline. She's one of the best in her industry. She's sought after by so many people wanting to work with her, and take it on board and practice it. And please give us a like and follow on this show, and let Jacqueline know one thing that you took away from this show today. And if you have done those simple things, let her know. Feedback is really important to both of us. Jacqueline, thank you so much for giving up your time to be on this show today. We know how busy you are.
Thank you for having me on your show. It was a pleasure.